Welcome to episode 2 of Control.
There are no stupid questions. The door to the comms department is just outside the boardroom back in the
Yeah.
lobby. They should have gotten it open by now. Follow the signs to the mailroom. You can get to the hotline containment chamber.
I don't know though. I mean, maybe. Alright, government's doing things alright. The government has got its beak in many different pies. Oh yeah, the jukebox. But we can't do that just yet. Can we? Let's see. Sector elevator, new. Here we are. Communications department.
There it is again. A welcome message.
You ever hear about the dimming? Supposedly there's been like weather control going on like forever by spraying like some kind of ammonium sulfate or something in the upper atmosphere. Yeah, no, that'd make sense. 100%. That'd make sense. Makes me wonder, like, what do they have nowadays that we don't know about? Right? Like, when you hear stories about, like, aircraft carriers losing power when a UFO goes over it, or, you know, these fighter pilots, like, reporting seeing things. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was, like, just China or something. I love Joe Rogan. You kidding me? Long live the Rogan. Long live Joe Rogan. Thank God for someone with some truth. And I'm gonna get canceled because I said that. Fuck. It's okay, it's just us. Yeah, it's just us. We can talk about Joe Rogan. Nobody's gonna come for my head just yet. But you just wait, old Trudeau might fucking do it. Makes me worried. I remember that episode. I forget the name of the guy, but I watched it. That was a while back. That was like what, 2, 3, 4 months maybe? Yeah, exactly. Just to fuck with people. You'd be like, oh, we'll hear about that one in the morning. Just to produce lights in the sky. Like stuff like that, I'd believe for sure. Like a light in the sky, just seen by like some dude out in the field. You've never listened to Joe Rogan? Oh, Joe. Well, I mean, it depends on the depends on the episode, really. But what I like about Joe is he generally keeps an open mind, and you know, there was a lot of like people crying about like, oh, he's not a professional or whatever. But he doesn't say a whole lot of stuff that like usually he's just asking questions of professionals that come in on the show. Like he's never like, oh, I know this and this about the brain barrier because I'm a surgeon, blah blah blah. He has a brain surgeon in on the show and asks them about that, and then they have a discussion. And it's usually like a 3-4 hour thing, so they get like in depth, and they really cover a lot. And some of it's very interesting. Like when they have Elon Musk on, that was a good episode. There's some episodes that are just fantastic. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Yeah, things like lights in the sky, you know, could be anything, really. Especially nowadays with like all the trash in orbit and all the satellites and whatnot, and just all the crap in the air, you know, the lights are I would expect to see like some dead letters. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Joe Rogan has some good stuff. Machine God. I had a dream and I built the thing I saw in my dream. A machine that will contain God, but not the God you know or the ones anyone knows. A new God. This machine will be his body, his heart, and his mind. I made it just like the dream showed me. I used the motor from the refrigerator and the coils from my toaster and the fans plus the timing belt from my car's engine and the wheels from my son's skateboard. God can't move yet, but the dream said he would learn on his own. This is just a beginner's body, like a baby's, but a machine instead. God only needs a place to start. If you want to interview me, please contact me at the address on the envelope. Yeah, that guy sounds crazy. That guy sounds crazy. Yeah, yeah, with Joe Rogan, what people were really upset about was the vaccine misinformation or whatever, right? But like he didn't even say anything. He had a doctor. He had actually doctors, right? He had more than one. He actually had a lot of people that came in and talked about vaccine stuff. But the people that the stuff that people really got upset about was the two doctors that he had on the show, and what they were talking about. And people like lost their shit. I called the police, but they never come to my house. I got a problem, and you gotta send folk to fix it. I got my wife one of them singing fish on the walls. It's not a real fish, it sings when you hit a button. But it's got the devil in it. It flies around at night and sings devil songs. Says lots of cuss words. The devil got in my house 'cause of the fish, and you gotta come handle it. My wife is real upset. When can you come? Sincerely, Dwayne Barr. I'd like to thank you for approving my request for a Dead Letters archive. Cataloging the Bureau's collection of delinquent mail will provide an extremely handy database that research teams can use to search for any connections on or related topics found among the letters. Aside from the more functional purposes, the archive will allow us to preserve these windows into authentic human encounters with supernatural world. Okay. So a bunch of letters that document what's going on here. You know what? I enjoy Joe Rogan's talks on DMT. Actually, I told Brill about the machine gnomes, or the tinker gnomes. These gnomes that people always run into when they're on DMT, and all that stuff that I learned, I learned from him. He gets really interesting people on there. Like Hamilton, something Hamilton, that really famous drug guy. Hamilton, something Hamilton, I forget his fucking name now. But Rogan had him on, and that was really interesting. Yeah, the machine gnomes. I want to meet the machine gnomes. It'd be cool, it'd be kind of freaky, but it'd be kind of cool. Maybe they're friendly. Well, they always say they're friendly gnomes. And they're tinkering. They'll tell me the inner workings of the universe. Or I can go, another thing that's recurring is like, there's some sort of like musician owl people on like Saturn or something that people always go and see. So that'd be a little bit freaky, but I would take owl people. Sure, I'll go see some owl people. And they're musicians too. Hey, I like music. Maybe I'll go sing with the owl people for a while.
Just look at it. 8 inches wide.
Ah, yeah, Bob Lazar, that's the one.
Whopping 80 kilobytes. Stolen by our friends at the CIA, the disk held the launch codes to Soviet nukes.
Crap, how do I do it? T? floppy disk.
Just look at it. 8 inches wide and capable of storing a whopping 80 kilobytes. Stolen by our friends at the CIA, the disk held the launch codes to Soviet nukes. This is not the disk, of course, but one exactly like it. A perfect fusion of concepts vibrating in the Cold War era collective unconscious. A receptacle. It is a receptacle for dangerous energies to hone in on. And they did. We don't have the details, but when things started flying around the disk, it was transferred to us. It's an object of power. OOP. Oops.
And
Oh, and it can launch things telekinetically through the air. To date, we've
they
launched
sing in math languages. That sounds
arrows
awesome.
and pencils.
You know, the
And
whole
once
Pythagorean theorem
launched a
thing,
cup.
like there was a whole cult and whatnot behind it. Maybe, and like actually there's a lot of things. There's a lot of these famous geniuses talk about, like Tesla. Nikola Tesla apparently got a lot of his ideas from, like, you know, something else, right? Einstein as well. Crap, there was another example. What was I just thinking of?
This is not the disk, of course, but one exactly like it.
Yeah, the Pythagorean theorem.
Vibrating in the
It was
Cold
the owl
War
people's
era
doing.
collective unconscious. A receptacle.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Communication.
It's stuff like
On
what
my
Bob
track.
Lazar says. It's just people like Bob Lazar that really tear apart the government's narrative sometimes. Because like they'll just lie. I mean, the fucking government narrative is always it's just lies, right? It's just lies, top to bottom. God damn it. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Sometimes that shit's coming from other places, you know? Who knows? Maybe when people think they're hearing God, right? Like how many times in history did people hear the voice of God or whatever, right? And they did something, or a God, you know, like how many prophets, how many, and throughout all religions, not like just Christianity. There's also the Middle Eastern people. I don't know enough about those religions to really put a name to it, but I know that they have like Muhammad, right? The prophet. These people. Who knows? Maybe something contacted them. You know, some fourth dimensional being trying to seed sentience on a faraway planet. Who knows, right? Maybe the ancient astronaut theories are correct. Maybe there was like ancient civilizations back then. Maybe they're talking to us. Maybe they discovered a fourth dimension. So I don't usually read a lot of sci-fi, but as far as space operas go, this was all right. The title "Unless You" could refer to a bunch of things. Okay, wait. The best part of the story was the space battles. I sided with the Fixers, obviously, because they had the coolest tech and their motives made the most sense to me. Okay, I'm not gonna. We're not gonna read the whole of that guy's opinion about a book. You know what people are doing now? They're microdosing. Have you heard about this? How people are microdosing now? They like microdose
Power.
acid like all the time.
Latched onto it.
Apparently it's like a huge thing in the programmer world. And it helps them. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, how do you separate truth from reality? Especially when you're not witnessing something firsthand, right? Because yeah, you never know. Yeah, exactly. Calm and focused. Yeah. Teach us
It's
to
harder
believe,
to
director.
hear you when I'm here. It's like the channel's been changed. The board's in charge here. They're pyramids in the Bureau seal. Are they really the ones pulling the strings? I'm not their director. I'm no one's director.
Very nice, very nice. Damn it. Oh, come on, that last one should have hit. Here they come. Come on. Crap. Here. Last one? Okay. Do they look like Draenei from WoW? Yeah, if they did, everyone would want to fuck them. 100%. That'd be like the perfect way to get human alien hybrids. Just make them look like Draenei and drop them into
There you are.
society. And
You were gone. Cut off. I got it.
yeah, it was always a question of Night Elf or Draenei for me playing Alliance characters. I had some Horde characters, but I mean, you know, it's, they don't have the Goldshire on Horde, unfortunately. Need that Goldshire. How am I not hitting him? There we go. Dwarves, really? Well, that makes sense. See, male dwarves look pretty acceptable. Not to suggest that female dwarves don't. I mean, it might be a personal preference as far as you know, me and dwarves go. What was your
Emily
favorite?
said that the
Brooke?
hotline can be reached through the mailroom.
Favorite WoW race that is. Where are you? Is there no one here? Will of AWE outcome. National news sites have begun publishing the story of the polar bear attack on the Alaskan town. You all know I don't like to boast, but claiming that the family was killed by migrating polar bears desperate for food because their ecosystem is being ruled by global warming is a stroke of genius. Using current ecological concerns make the public much less likely to redact it. So another AWE behind us and the public is none the wiser. Excellent. Job well done. Yeah, Dre and I. Can't go wrong with the Dre. Did you hear about Dragonkin or whatever, the new WoW expansion that's supposed to be coming? Or it was rumored to have been leaked. I remember there being a control point like right around here.
This must open the door.
There we go. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, it looked pretty cool. Just Google WoW expansion leak and it'll probably come out. There was like a bunch of art like promotional art and whatnot that came out. Looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. But the thing is, the poster that they showed has Alex Straza as the centerfold, and that sort of makes me skeptical because another clearance level 1. Makes me skeptical because
you're listening to America Overnight.
Alex Straza's kind of irrelevant now.
29 years.
Yeah, me either.
Thank you for staying up with us.
Yeah.
Ghosts. We've had many callers over the years tell us of hauntings.
I just get it
voices,
on my
and
I get it on my phone. I always get
phantasmagorical
these
phenomena.
articles popping up.
Today, friend of the show, Dr. Quincy Reagan tells his story.
See what Quincy Reagan has to say.
Thanks. This is something I experienced recently while staying at the Chili Pines Motel in Macon for
nose.
last year's Suspicion Con. I was in room 47. The night manager, an avid listener of the program, insisted I take this particular room. Now, the manager explained that years back, the body of a man was discovered under the bed, inside that wooden border that motel beds tend to have. And the body had been there a week, he said. Guests had stayed there, sleeping with the corpse a foot below. They only found the body when housekeepers complained about the smell. Hauntings have been reported in room 47 ever since. I happily took the room. I fell asleep pretty quick, checking under the bed first, of course.
Of course.
No ghosts visited me, no chilly spots or flickering lights, but
Kind of reminds me of the
when I
room,
woke up,
or the movie Room
I found
1408
myself
or 1804.
under the bed.
Which one?
It was dark.
With old Cusack.
stiflingly hot. Luckily, I was able to push the mattress off and crawl out before I suffocated. The night manager was kind enough to find me another room.
There you have it, listeners. What we call ghosts take many forms. Quincy was brave enough to tell his story, and I encourage you to keep calling and writing whenever you encounter something strange, something you can't explain. Maybe you're seeing colors that we have no name for. Maybe your toaster is possessed. Remember, dear listeners.
Yeah, exactly. Dragons are not mortal. Their story is at an end.
We do. America
That's what people are saying, Raytheon. Yeah, the Dragon Isles, exactly. But you know what? I don't think I'm gonna go back for this expansion. I don't know. I don't know. Shadowlands was pretty brutal. And it's not even like that the game won't be worth it. Like, they kind of killed the community that was there. It's different. Who knows? Maybe the expansion will bring it back. But it felt very different. Lockdown distinctions. Pay attention, Alberto. This is the last time I'm explaining this. Internal lockdowns are manually triggered events that lock one or all of the sectors by restricting use of the sector elevator, effectively locking staff in their sector until the emergency is handled. They can only be lifted via the directorial override and maintenance once the director is satisfied that the situation is under control. External lockdowns are a bigger deal. Nothing in or out of the whole building. It's only triggered by a code red containment breach based on some complicated system. Blah blah. Okay, yeah, we know that. Oh, look, we got the mold over here. Oh! Oh, look! Look, there's a kitty. Oh, kitty. A tuxedo cat too. I like tuxedo cats. Yeah, Legion was pretty cool. Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 is just comparing Final Fantasy and 14 right now is like silly because is this gonna make me die if I go in here? Yep. All right, I need to get immunity before I can go in there, I guess. All right, well we'll come back to that. Yeah, the Final Fantasy 14 community is just leagues beyond the World of Warcraft community now. And I think it's just because they've been implementing so much, what is this room? I don't remember this room. They've been implementing so much, so much like, player housing and like, you know, they've just been catering to the players for so long that they've built up this big repository of stuff that the players have asked for and gotten, which World of Warcraft doesn't have. So for World of Warcraft to even come to like an even ground with Final Fantasy 14, they would have to like add a bunch of player housing to get started, right? But then like it's just incomparable. Like how many dungeons can you do in Final Fantasy 14 with the roulette thing? And then there's also like a casino as well. There's nothing like the casino in WoW. I hear they're talking about getting rid of factions as well. Which, you know, is whatever. Sure, get rid of the factions, okay. But then that's just one thing that makes it less distinct from Final Fantasy 14. 2. Right? Because like right now, like it's Warcraft, it's war, you know, there's Alliance versus the Horde, and in certain expansions, you know, they get kind of dirty and there's like backstabbing and story. But they're gonna get rid of all that apparently. It's like, come on. Last month, our on-site server experienced an intrusion by unauthorized users. Uh-oh. After a thorough investigation, it was confirmed that the users only accessed a video file which contained portions of various Dr. Darling presentations. Investigators were able to track the users through their IP addresses. The following are the confirmed identities of these users. These individuals are in breach of Bureau Code 91 and have been placed under surveillance by our external investigation team. Further action is pending. Ooh. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, have you guys seen, someone did a demonstration of Orgrimmar remade in Unreal Engine 5, and it looks really cool. It's just a short video, and it's just like the front of the gate of Orgrimmar, really. But just to display what could be if they made WoW 2 with the Unreal 5 engine, it'd be pretty sick. Exactly, new resources. I mean, that's the only way they're ever gonna come out ahead of Final Fantasy 14 because they're so far behind it now. They just need a whole new game. But at the same time, they could make a whole new game. And you know, it could be better than Final Fantasy 14. It's Far Cry, but could happen. Super prettier. It has like yeah. It's not really even a comparison, the graphics of WoW to the graphics of 14, because it's just unreal. Alright. Boss time. There he is. There he is.
They can fly now. Great.
Duck. Oh, right, C. usually go up here, and then I can get his buddies as they come up the stairs because he has some spawns. Oh, that got me. Damn it. Just clipped me. Come on, give me bullets. I think that second one's gonna hit me. No, we're good. Something to throw at him. See, what you gotta do is you gotta throw something at him because it makes him drop his current projectiles, otherwise you'll get hit when you're shooting at him. And those hits this early in the game do a lot of damage. Almost half your life. So... Hey. Yeah, exactly. The cat and the bunny girls. And the dances, the emotes.
I
mean,
have
it
a
just
feeling
goes on
he'll
and
be
on.
back.
The list.
Let's stay focused.
Huh, I forgot you don't
the
kill him.
hotline should be past the mailroom.
Okay, well let's see. Let's check for treats. Check for treats. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Okay, I don't think there's any treats. Let's just get out of here, you guys. We're gonna go. I'm gonna check my episode length. 32 minutes.